Let's find some day trades, swing trades, and option trades. Good morning, traders. It is Monday, July 6th. We're about 3 hours into trading. We had a nice gap higher on the market this morning. Let's take a look at the action. We had this big gap up from Friday. You can see how we also gapped up Friday, came back, tested that gap, tried to rally, and closed on the low of the day. This was after a really good jobs number. We also had a really good ADP number last week. We also had a very good ISM manufacturing number last week, indicating expansion. This morning, we got ISM services came in at 57.2, much better than the 50.2 that was expected. So the economy is in decent shape. But here was the tell this morning. So we had this gap higher, and I'd mentioned to my members, I said, let's see how the market opens up. We got the ISM number coming out. Let's see what the reaction is. Well, we get this really good ISM number, big gap up on the number, right up in here, and then that bar reverses, followed by another red bar. Uh-oh, this is pretty weak price action in here. So now we know that we're in a post-holiday trading session, holiday hangover as I like to call it. Not a lot going on, so we can expect the market to stay within this trading range. So we have to be very, very selective with our trades. We were able to find some nice longs, and when we came in and checked the open here, the low of the day, long tail under body, long tail under body, long tail under body. These are all positive, so we get a nice little release off of that low. But as the 10p indicator started to crest in here, said now we have to be careful. We've got a 10p indicator that's moving higher, and we have a market that's starting to compress. This is a bearish divergence, so now we should be watching this high here, tails above body. Time to get short. You can see how we had this little drop right in here. I shorted the SPY at 316.70, and I covered that for a small gain because I was starting to record, but I'd mentioned to people in the chat room that we were likely to go down to SPY 316.20. I had a 5-point target on that, 5-point on the futures, 50 cents on the SPY. And it looks like we just hit that level right in here. I'd also mentioned that we need to be very watchful of what happens on the low of the day here. If we were going to see an intraday reversal, we would have seen it in the first hour of trading. We didn't get one. So I think today we're just going to range between the first hour high and the first hour low. We'll stay right in there. We'll probably come down. We may check the low of the day, but I'm not expecting us to fill the gap. Trading very, very quiet right now. So again, these are trades that are actually posted in the chat room. And if you signed up for my Twitter feed, then you will see one of the trades that I posted. I am posting charts in Twitter, so please make sure you go check out that page. I'm going to put a link for it in the video that I post this morning, so it'll be easy for you to find. But MOMO was the stock that I highlighted, and you can see that was posted over an hour ago. Let's go in and take a look at MOMO. We've just got to be very selective with our stocks today. And here you can see there's a downward sloping trend line right here on a longer term basis that was breached to the upside. We also had horizontal support that was coming into play right in here. That support now is resistance. The stock gapped above that resistance, and it's continuing to go. It's got plenty of room to run. And you can see that an hour ago, when that chart was posted, go check the timestamps, you can see that that stock was at roughly $20, now at $21. So a really nice mover, $1 gain. The Chinese stocks are getting a really good bid today, and the likes of BILI, MOMO, Baidu, Alibaba, they're all running. Now, I mentioned this in a video that I posted, and I'd also encourage you to go back and take a look at some of my previous videos on YouTube. If you go back and take a look at this video right here that was posted on 6/16, actually it might have been this video now that I think about it, 6/21, 2 new picks for Monday. This is posted Sunday night. In this video, I had mentioned that I felt Chinese stocks were going to catch a pretty decent bid, and they might be stocks that you want to be in because China is about 2 months ahead of us in terms of the recovery, and those stocks should be leading the charge higher. Well, if we go through, take a look at some of the stocks in that sector, we'll take a look at Alibaba. You can see that big gap up. Take a look at the daily chart through that major horizontal resistance. Huge move higher. I haven't checked Baidu, but I will. That was also in my weekly swing trading video from a week ago. Baidu, beautiful breakout here through horizontal resistance. I've already shown you Momo, BILI. Through the corner of your eye, you can see the market here continuing to pull back. We are getting a bullish 10P cross, so we may be getting near that support level. BILI, you can see how it was way up and it has pulled back. That is a big bearish engulfing pattern, so not real bullish there. But the puts that we sold in that video were down at the $35 strike price. Let's see what BZUN is doing. That was another one that I had highlighted in that video as a naked out of the money put sale. And again, we were selling down here below the 200-day moving average. We sold the $35 puts. Those are in great shape. They're trading for pennies now. It was a fantastic trade. I believe that was about a 10% winner in the course of 2 weeks. So those are the types of plays that we need to look for right now because the market's not giving us a whole lot to work with. We have really good economic numbers that came out. We have the test off of the 200-day moving average. So let me put that up, and we'll put that 200-day and the 100-day moving average up. You can see one test, two tests, and multiple tests each time. Once we rallied off that support level and got through this downward sloping trend line last week, I was very quick to point that out. We're heading into earnings season. We've had good economic numbers. I believe we're going to drift higher. Now, I do not particularly like the macro backdrop as we get into late August, early September. I think the coronavirus spreading, and I think that a more gradual economic recovery than we had hoped for is going to start weighing on the market as we get into August. So watch for that. But for right now, I think we continue to float higher. I think this is a low probability trading environment. I think you've got to be super selective with your picks. I would not be going into anything that is parabolic. I was just looking at a stock, and there are many of these. I wouldn't want to be touching anything that's doing this right now. I feel you're really, really chasing. If you get into a situation like this, sure, you can day trade the heck out of it, no problem, but I would not want to overnight positions like that. GSX actually not as dramatic. That one's breaking out. So I'm looking for stocks that have been moving higher, good relative strength, nice volume. Tesla, I know, has been on an absolute rocket shot here. You can see that breakout, and it's continuing to push higher. So as I go through the lists, number one, I'm expecting us to have a fairly quiet day today. I'm expecting the SPY to stay within that first hour range, and I'm expecting us to float higher through the course of the week. Earnings season is about a week away, and the early part of the cycle is dominated by bank stocks. So for the first few days, we'll see a lot of banks reporting. And then after that, we start getting into mega cap tech stocks. They have done extremely well. They've benefited from the coronavirus in many cases. Companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, where you've got people still searching and using social media, Amazon, where they're delivering packages, people not shopping in the stores. Microsoft has done well. These companies are able to let their employees work from home, so they really haven't missed a step. Apple, same type of situation there. So those are the companies that announce early in the earnings cycle, and that's why you get this upward impetus, all this optimism built in. If you take a look at the largest 6-7 mega cap tech stocks, they make up 20% of the S&P 500 now, and the rally has been very, very concentrated in a handful of names. So I don't feel that that's a real healthy situation. We're going to be waiting for those earnings announcements to come out. We're going to be trading after the number. We're still going to be looking for those out of the money bullish put spreads for the next month or so. And we want to make sure that we're selling those inside of a 3-week time horizon so that we can capitalize on accelerated time premium decay and a likely contraction in option implied volatilities. So that's how the market's setting up. Now we just have to find the stocks. That's what Option Stalker allows us to do. Runs these searches, shows us the best stocks to be in. So for today, I showed you MOMO. I think that stock is going to perform really well. And I'm going to show you another stock that I like today. AMGN. I'm going to zoom out very quickly because there's an interesting pattern that's easier to see. You've got a gigantic cup and handle formation, bouncing off the major moving averages. Now we are through this horizontal resistance line at 245 on Amgen, and you can see how the stock has actually had really nice follow through once it broke through, closed on the high, continuing to grind higher. Go into the 5-minute chart. It is off of its highs for the day, but I think Amgen sets up pretty well, and it might. Let me take a look at the earnings date, 8/4. When you're looking for earnings plays or you're looking for bullish put spreads, you have to make sure that you know what the earnings announcement date is. In this case, it's the 4th of August. We still have time. We can still sell an out of the money bullish put spread, keying off of this 245 breakout, $245 breakout. So we can put up the option chain here. That means that we can even go out to the July 31st expiration. When I am selling option spreads, I always want to make sure that the options are expiring before the earnings announcement. And here you can see that's a 1 standard deviation move, the red dotted line. I'm actually going to go down here and see what kind of credit we might be able to receive. The bid-ask spreads are quite wide. You can see here there's a 70+ cent bid-ask spread. So off screen, it's a negative 42 cents bid offered at $1.33. So I know that if I've got 2.5 points between the strike prices, I need to be able to bring in at least a 50-cent credit. And so you might be able to get that because that is a little bit bid side on this spread. So there's a chance to be able to get that done. Let's see if we can move in one expiration and get similar done without taking, let's go to the regular expiration and see what we've got there. This is the exercise that you have to go through when you find something that looks interesting. So here, I'm going to reset that. We're looking at the 245s. We're looking at the 250s. And this spread is 8 cents bid, offered at 33 cents. So we're not able to get the 50 cents that we need. Hence, we've got to continue to work and see which expiration is going to provide us with that credit. There's a possibility that you could go out to the July 24th expiration and get that credit as well. So that's how we do it. Right now you can see the market's starting to compress down in here. It's going to test this low of the day, probably find support. Then we're going to get that 1OP bullish cross, and we'll be looking for an opportunity to get long very, very strong stocks. So now that we've got this market pullback, it's a great time for me to show you what we do. There's a bullish explosion alert. Those come up when we have really big moves. That's a nice horizontal breakout. And there you can see the big volume spike. This would be probably a pretty good opportunity right now. Symbol is HZNP. And it looks like this stock wants to run. It's got a nice volume spike on a quiet day. I would want to see this stock continue to hold those gains, close near the high of the bar, start off the next bar on that same price level. Then I would know that there's a good bid to it, and I would take that trade. So I was going to continue to look down through this list. What you would want to look at right now is you can see how the market for the last 30 minutes, down, 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 down. This search right here is going to show me stocks with relative strength. So they have been moving higher when the market's moving lower. Relative strength 30. Let's click through and see what we've got. Look at BABA breaking out. So when the market is finding support and we feel that the market's going to move higher, this is the type of stock you want to be in. So what happens if the bottom falls out of the market, Pete? We check this low and all of a sudden, whoosh, bad COVID news, something bad happens. Now all of a sudden we're through the low of the day and we're going to start filling in this gap. A stock like Alibaba, the buyers are lined up. Even with the market sell-off like this, they are so anxious to buy it that they not only is the stock staying flat, it's moving higher. So they are bidding this thing up. If the market bottom fell out, this stock would hold up really, really well, at least for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. You'd have plenty of time to go, uh-oh, I'm on the wrong side of the market. I better get out. Oftentimes you can scratch the trade or even make money. That is the edge that we trade every single day. And these searches help us find these stocks. Take a look at Lulu, see what that's doing. You can see market down, stock is pulled back. This would be a nice entry point. Stock compressing while the market going down, then it releases. So as soon as the market finds support, it releases. This is starting to come back from a negative move this morning on the open. I want to focus on stocks that are moving higher, not that have had weakness during the course of the day. So Boeing would also not be one that I would be taking a look at. But that's how we go through and flip through these charts. Bull run, I'll take a look at the top one or two here. UPS, that's okay. It's not making a big move. ENPH, it's had a pretty good day, trying to get through the high of the day. FSLY we looked at. So if I had any stock that I were looking to buy right now, it would be Alibaba. So I would have Alibaba up, and I would be watching the market. And as soon as I would see maybe a bullish hammer off the low of the day here, that's a bullish hammer right there. If I saw a pattern like that with this 1OP indicator starting to improve, I'd be interested in buying Alibaba on the notion that any market bounce and this stock will continue to go higher. So that's how we do it. Going to keep this fairly short today. This is a post-holiday trading session, very light volume, very compressed. I think we're going to stay in this first hour range. As the week progresses, we're not going to have a lot of economic news, so this is just kind of pre-earnings. I think we drift, float higher. Be careful on these opening gaps higher. Make sure that you've got support, and then you can try some of the stocks that have good relative strength to them. Look for us to continue to float higher over the course of the next week or two. And I'd mentioned to you that go to my Twitter page. Follow me there. You'll get my pre-open market comments. You'll know exactly what I'm looking at, what I believe the market's going to do, and what's driving the market. And I'll also try and post a stock trade or two in the morning. If you like the contents of this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing something right. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of these videos. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.